Hi everyone, this is Srinivas from Automation Technical Learning. Welcome to day 2 of Docker Learning and Challenge. So just to quickly recap, in day 1 we have learned Docker is a shipping container, and main tagline for Docker is it can basically build, ship and run any software anywhere. Okay, so often Docker is compared with VMs. Unlike VMs, Dockers are lightweight in nature and is more efficient with the usage of system and resources. Because you would have seen if you have worked on any VMs, VMs are consuming more memory and resources in general compared to the containers. Okay, so now let's see the container that we have run yesterday. So the container when you have run, it's going to show that it is server startup in it is giving the time, so that means it is up and running, right? So and we have confirmed that you could access the http localhost 8888 port, and I'm able to access this particular tomcat url, so that confirmed that the software is up and running. So tomcat is a web server, right? And similarly nginx assignment that you if you have tried as part of the challenge, so that's also another web server. So they are open source. So we can have some specific pages that we want to run in that web server as well. So those things we are going to see later on. So now for the running container that we have here. So if I want to stop, one way could be I can say Control C from my operating system, that is Windows. So if you have Mac, you can use Command C and you'll be able to exit uh, this particular container which is running. Okay, and other way of stopping the container is you can go to the dashboard of the Docker, which you can see in the system tray. Now when you click on dashboard and it opens the dashboard for you. Yeah, so in this you will be able to see the containers which are running. So it shows that this is the container running, and if I simply click on this container, so it's going to show me the details of the logs which are running as well. So you can see the same logs which I could see in my PowerShell is displayed in the window as well. Okay, so that is one information. And now let's go back a bit and come back here. Yeah, so in Docker dashboard, you can manage your containers. So you can stop, you can restart, you can delete your container. You can also open your container in a CLI mode, and also you can open your container in a browser. So now let's see one after another. So open in a browser is going to open the container in the localhost 8888 mode, and it's going to show that it's up and running. Second is CLI. So if I say the CLI mode, it's going to basically open the CLI of that particular container. You can see the hash sign. So it indicates that now I am in the shell of that particular container. Okay, so we shall see more in detail later on. So as of now, just know that we can use the Docker dashboard to go to the CLI. Okay, so there are many other ways of reaching to the same place. We'll be seeing that later. So, and similarly, if I want, I can stop, I can restart, and I can delete. Okay, so which I would encourage you to do and see whether you can do these operations. So as of now, I'll simply stop it. And the moment I stop, I can see that no containers are running. And if I come to the PowerShell, I can see that it has come out of the server status, and it is back to my terminal with my username saying that it is stopped. Okay, now let's understand Docker in a nutshell. Okay, so yeah, so as part of this day 2, we are going to mainly learn the concepts related to the Docker, overall how exactly it works. So we have seen the container part yesterday. Basically, when we run something, we get a container. So actually, we have to run Docker image. So when the Docker image is run, we get container. Okay, so now what exactly is a Docker image? Docker image is a static file. Okay, so basically it will have some of the uh, content related to the software that you're uh, going to get containerized. So that will be present in an image. And usually these Docker images um, are present in Docker Hub. So yesterday we touched upon little bit about Docker Hub. So Docker Hub is a registry in which you can access all the public repositories, and it will have the images. So it can be either the ready-made images, or it can be official images. So official images are um, uh, which are created by the organizations, for example Tomcat. Okay, so they are official in nature, and ready-made or someone custom made the images. So those images are also present in Docker Hub. So now what we understand is, when you run the Docker image, which is the static file, we get Docker container. So it basically containerizes that software. So now how exactly Docker image comes? So, or how Docker image is created? Docker image is created by using a Docker file. Docker file is a plain text file in which set of Docker instructions will be present. So, so there is a detailed command which can be written in the Docker file so that you can build your own images. Um, so when you build your Docker file, you get Docker image, and when Docker image is run, you get Docker container. Okay, and it's up to you to place your Docker image in Docker Hub if it is a custom made image. However, as we discussed, all the official images or the images which are placed in public repositories of Docker Hub will be present in this hub.docker.com. So I'll show you the hub.docker.com website. So if I come here and if I try hub, okay, so just say hub.docker.com and it's going to show. Okay, so now let me just maximize it. Yeah, so this is the hub.docker.com website login page. So in this, you have to have the account created in order for you to get in and see the images or uh, repositories which are present. Okay, so in my case, I've already created my account. So you can create your own account by using sign up. So it's a free account. You can create it yourself as well. So now let me just log into my account. So I'm going to provide my details. So now I am inside the Docker Hub, and as we discussed, so it's going to have all the public repositories and images. So if I say now here, for the Docker run that we did in the previous class with the Tomcat, so and if I search with Tomcat, I'll be able to see the Tomcat related repository as well as the images. So you can see this is the Tomcat official images. So now if I click on this official images, it's going to basically talk about what exactly is the official image that we talked earlier. So now if I quickly click on the tags here, so I have opened the repository of Tomcat, and then I clicked on tags, and in tags it shows latest, and if I scroll down further it shows various other versions of the Tomcat. Okay, so it's showing JDK open, and also it shows for which OS those images have been created. So these are the different images, okay, which are created. So yesterday, if you remember, uh, when I ran that docker run command, so this was the command that I ran. So my whole objective was to run the Tomcat image so that I can get the container created of version 8.0. Okay, so that was the idea. So I wanted to get the Tomcat version 8 image uh, run in a container mode. So that's why I was running like this. So now similarly, I could search for any images. So let me try another image. So this is Nginx for the assignment that you would have completed. So in this, if I say tags, so it's going to show me again all the different versions of the Nginx which are present here. Okay, so now let's go another step. And so these are again official images. Okay, so now let me go further. So you will see if you search longer in Docker Hub, you will find there are many official images as well as non-official images. Okay, so for example, I can show you um, if I say now Nginx, and when I am searching, you can see there are other options. So if I go to some other options, yeah. So this is by Nginx again, uh, by Nginx, but it is not by the official Nginx that we have seen earlier. So it is kind of modified image that is present. So you will see even some different developers might have pushed their images here, or that could be accessible if it is public. So for anyone who has created your account, you will have one private repository that you can create, and rest all would be public if you are pushing any of the images and things like that. Okay, so now let's search for Selenium. And if I search, so I can see that Selenium it is showing various images related to the Selenium. So basically, these are the hub and node related images which can be used to run in containerized mode. So for example, if I open the Selenium Hub, so again you can see that this is again, if I click on this Selenium, yeah, so this is by Selenium community itself. So now if I can go back, and I can see that there is a tag option here. If I come to the tag, I can see it has various tags like uh, 4.0.0, which is the latest push 6 days ago, and it has different versions you can see. So these are the different versions of the tag that are images that are present for Selenium Hub. Okay, so now with that understanding, so now I hope you got, let's go back to our PowerPoint. Yeah, so we have understood Docker Hub is a registry in which all the repositories, public repositories will be present, and also you'll be able to see the images by clicking on the tag section. You can see the images, uh, different versions, and when you are creating your containers, you can pick which particular version you want to run in a Dockerized mode. Okay, so that's what it shows. So basically, this is a kind of life cycle. So anyone who is building a new Docker image, so they have to write a Docker file, and that Docker file needs to be built. And once it is built, it's going to create a Docker image, and that Docker image will have to be pushed onto Docker Hub. So they can either push as a push to the public repository, or they can push to the private. Okay, so if they are pushed to the public, then it will be accessible to anyone, and anyone will be able to run that particular uh, image to get container in respective server wherever they want to get that particular software up and running. I hope that makes sense. So this is the entire life cycle of the um, Docker in a nutshell. So we have seen a bit of Docker container. So whenever you see any commands in Docker, so if you see Docker run, right, that means you're going to get a container. So you can see when you say run, you're going to get container. So that's the understanding. And uh, similarly, when you build a file, you will get image. Okay, that is Docker image. Okay, so that's what you can understand. Okay, so and there is another information is if you want to get some images from Docker Hub, okay, so then it's going to be a Docker pull command. So Docker pull and image. Okay, so now let's see that again. So for example, if I go back to our Docker Hub, and if I can see the see one of the tags which are present here. Okay, so let's go back a bit. I'll just have the new. Okay, so when I have come to the home page of this particular repository, so it shows the Docker pull command, and it is showing Docker pull Selenium / hub. So this is the repository name, and it's going to pull that particular image related to this particular repository. So if no version is specified, then it is going to take the latest version. Okay, so that's the understanding. So if you specify the version, it's going to get the particular version. However, if I don't specify it, it's going to get the latest. Okay, so now let's do some more command and understanding. So Docker pull is going to only pull the images. It's not going to run it in a containerized mode. It's only going to pull. So just for understanding, if I come back to our previous uh, terminal, and um, so when we ran this particular command, so it what actually happened. So what we can understand is it's going to first thing is it's going to look in your local whether this Tomcat 8.0 image is already present. So if it is already present, it will run that image and it will create a container. Okay, so uh, so that's what. So it's always creating container is a two-step process. So first is um, check whether image is present. If present, use that image, run it, and get container, or pull that image from Docker Hub and run that image and get container. Okay, so it's a two-step process. Okay, so now for example, let me just run the same command again just to show you. So the moment when I ran this particular command, so actually if you see, it's directly starting with using Catalina Home in the logs. So that is because already this particular image, Tomcat image has been pulled. Tomcat 8.0 image has been pulled when I ran the docker run command earlier. Okay, it's present in my local. So now how do I know it is present or not? So if I come to the Docker dashboard and if I click on images, I can see here, you can see all these images are already present, which I have run recently. And I can see a Tomcat, it says Tomcat is in use. So this image was used by me while running the container earlier. So now since this image is present and using that image, I have run that particular image and I've got this container and now it's up and running. So that's why it says this is in use. Okay. So now similarly I can stop it. So it's going to be stopped. Yeah. So I need to make sure it is stopped. Yeah. So it's stopped. And now when I come here, it's not showing in use. Okay, so this way we can stop any container and we can also see which image it had used while running that container. So now let's run another command just to understand. Docker run minus same set of instructions, but I am going to only say Tomcat. So the moment I say Tomcat, it's not going to use the Tomcat 8 version. Instead, it's going to use the latest version. So if you see this, so it's saying unable to find image Tomcat latest locally. So first thing is it was trying to find Tomcat latest tagged image in my local. So that was not found. So it pulled Tomcat latest from the Docker Hub and now it is downloading. And once it is downloaded, it will run that image and then it will create a container. So that's what we could see once it is up and running, we will be able to see that image in the Docker dashboard as well. Okay. Now similarly, yeah, let it complete the operation so that we will see it in action. So basically we understood that Docker run command is a two-step process. It's going to check whether the image is already present. If not present, it will pull from the Docker Hub, and it's going to download it, and then it's going to run that particular image to create a container. So Docker run is a command to create container, as we discussed. So that is why it does that. Okay, so I think it is a huge image, so it's taking some time. That's fine. So in the meantime, I can also show you the Tomcat in the Docker Hub. So if I show you Tomcat, and if I go to the official Tomcat image, and if I go to the tags, so I should be able to see the latest. You can see latest tag. So when I said Docker run Tomcat, it has actually pulled this particular image. Okay, so now let's come back here. Yeah, so now it's up and running. So now if I come back to the dashboard, and I can see here that Tomcat, so this was the old one. If you see, this was Tomcat 8.0, which is still retained. And so that was the image, and now this is the Tomcat. Tag is latest, and so that was pulled recently, and that is of this size. So basically when you pull it, it's going to have the actual size of that particular image displayed. So now if I run it, it's going to create a container. So it's already using, and it's running in a container mode. So that is what we have seen now. Uh, the concept of images and containers. Okay, so now let's see another example before we discuss on the assignment for today. So the another example that we can take is Selenium Hub. So I'm going to search for Selenium, and I'll say Selenium Hub here. And let's say my focus here is to run for a specific version of Selenium. Let's say I'm interested in this particular image. Okay, so so what I want to do is I want to run this particular image so that it runs in a container mode. So I can copy this, and I can say, so how do I create a container of this? So I can simply come to the terminal, and I can say Docker, and I can say run, and I can provide the image details. So it's going to create a container. So that's all. So just say Docker run and provide the details. So now here again, you can see that it is unable to find the image locally. So it is going to pull from the Docker Hub, and it is downloaded, and now it is up and running. You can see it says the Selenium Grid Hub is up and running. So Hub is up and running. So similarly, if I want to get my node up and running, I can have another node brought up, and I can have them connected. Okay, so this is how now I have brought up with the single command of Docker Selenium Hub. It's up and running. Okay, so now if I come back to the dashboard, and here I can see that there is a Selenium Hub, which is Selenium 3.141, which is up and running. Even I am using Selenium Hub, which is the latest version as well. So that is running as well. Okay, so you can see that so you can have different versions of particular software running in your machine as well by using this Docker. Okay, so I think with that, now let's move on to the assignment for today. So your assignment for today is register with hub.docker.com, provide your details and sign up. It's a free account. So after that, you need to search for an image called as hello world. Okay, like how it is given here, and then look for the tag Linux. And then you need to run the docker run command to run hello world container with the tag Linux, and then verify that the output given on the whatever output that comes when you run the docker run command is this one. So it should basically say hello from Docker, and it should say that uh, so some of the instructions or some of the commands that you can use related to Docker. So that would confirm that you have completed this assignment. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next learning. Thank you.